Well, okay. I have a question about a letter that you shared with us that was sent to the Attorney General by, I believe, it was sent by Councilmember Allbritton. I guess there was a letter we learned today that you sent to the Attorney General. Can you describe what the intent was and what it said?
Well, yeah. The intent was to get clarification on exactly what we do with Garden Avenue. Because I know it's going to come up. Their church said they're going to go ahead and reapply. And I've read the document that our city attorney wrote, and I've read the letters that Mr. Potter wrote, and they're at odds with each other. And then we have a letter from the Attorney General that says, be careful. You don't want to, do anything against the religious. They didn't mention the church, but he said the petitioner, which is the Church of Scientology. So I thought that I would write a letter for my benefit. It didn't have your name on it. It didn't have anybody's name on it but mine. And I wrote it to get some clarification on if it gets applied for again, what we should do. So that was my intent. I sent it out at the beginning of the week, and nobody else was involved in it. And I don't know if I'll get a response, but hopefully we'll get some clarification on it.
So is this the letter that you sent?
Looks like it, yes.
Yeah. But it is, it's got the city seal at the top, so.
It's got the city seal, and it's got my name on it. It doesn't have anybody else's name on this. Mm-hmm. And this is not illegal to have a city stationery with my name on it and nobody else's name on it, because I wanted him to know it was from a city councilman with the city of Clearwater, and that's the way I signed it. David Allbritton, city council member. So hopefully he'll write back to me. If he doesn't, that won't help me any, but that was my letter to him personally. It wasn't representative of anybody else on the council. It wasn't representative of you. It wasn't representative of the city attorney or the city manager. It was for me.
So you're asking for an opinion, though, it looks like. Could you please advise whether the city owns, that's acting on behalf of the city or trying to act on behalf of, we didn't discuss asking the Attorney General for an opinion. So I'm really bothered by did you collaborate with the city attorney or the city manager to generate this letter?
No, but I've made everybody aware on this dais. We haven't talked about it since May, but since we got that letter that was addressed to you, I just want to make sure that we're not discriminating against anyone, and that I'm following Florida law. So that's what I've asked him to advise me on, and we'll wait and see what happens.
Well, seeking an Attorney General opinion is something that we should do collectively, in my opinion. It's not something we should do around the other four of us. If any one of the five of us was going to write a letter to the Attorney General asking for an opinion, we should have discussed this at a work session. This should not be where one of us does this. And Sid, you had no knowledge of this, right, City Attorney?
I will answer the direct question that I've been asked. I learned about it on Monday morning from the city manager. I did not know either that it was being contemplated, being considered, or that it was sent. I first learned about it on Monday morning.
Yeah. So did anyone from Scientology or your representative from Scientology ask you to write this letter?
I wrote it because I need to be advised whether our attorney is correct or Mr. Potter is correct. They both seem to have quoted different, I guess, court cases that, this is for me, Mayor. This isn't for you. This is for my benefit. If I'm going to have to decide on something, I want to be advised, I want to get as much advice as I can on it, okay?
Can I say something real quick?
Which
Because
is why we have a city attorney.
he has every right to do that according to Florida Statute 16.01 subsection 3 that states that the Attorney General may, upon written requisition of an officer of a county, municipality, other unit, or local government or political subdivision, give an official opinion and legal advice in writing on any question of law relating to official duties of the requesting officer. An elected official is an officer of a municipality. I agree that maybe we should have talked about it at a work session, but each one of us has the right to get an opinion of the Attorney General. That doesn't mean he has to respond. I mean, we can see there's been other municipalities that individual officers who have reached out, I think, over the tenure of this Attorney General. I mean, is that true?
It has.
Mr. McGowan?
It's torn a lot of cities apart, but it has. I mean, I'm not being funny, I'm not being sarcastic, because the issue is this, just in terms of process. Mr. Cotton's absolutely correct. The statute, I think, is clear that the Attorney General has the right to give advisory opinions upon the request of any local official. That is in the plain language of the statute. I don't think there was anything illegal with what Mr. Allbritton did. Historically, the Florida Attorney General, at least in the years that I have been alive and the years that I can remember, has not given advisory opinions except on the request of a collegial body. Generally speaking, the Attorney General, whether it was Pam Bondi, whether it was Charlie Crist, Bill McCollum, Ashley Moody, took the position that only the collegial body would be able to make that request, even though the statute, I think, is pretty clear that the Attorney General could grant it. The reasons historically have been that the Attorney General does not want to get involved in controversial local issues and do not want to tear cities and counties apart or get in the middle or dragged into controversial issues, except when it's been discussed in the sunshine, so that way it's transparent to voters that we are in fact seeking an opinion and that it represents the will of the body. However, Mr. Cotton's absolutely correct that the Attorney General has always had the right, upon the request of any elected official, to give those opinions. It's just that, candidly, before our current Attorney General, it never happened, as far as I knew. In fact, the policy of the Attorney General for many, many years had been he or she is not going to do something like that. We now have a different Attorney General who has a different view on it and is more open to giving those opinions upon the request of one elected official. And candidly, I think that's something that cities and counties are having to navigate. So we are starting to see situations across the state, not many, but I have seen a couple already where a council member or county commissioner has made a request to the Attorney General without the knowledge or consent of the collegial body, or in some cases without the knowledge of the city attorney or county attorney, and it has caused quite a bit of friction. So that's kind of where we're at procedurally. Clearwater certainly has no precedent for individuals filing those or seeking those. The two that I've been involved in since I've been city attorney did come to the collegial body for review. However, again, Mr. Cotton's absolutely correct that there's nothing illegal about the Attorney General responding to this if he so chooses, nor is there anything illegal about Mr. Allbritton choosing to seek the Attorney General's advice.
No one said that there was something illegal.
I didn't say it was illegal.
So the
Well-
response that this wasn't illegal, no one's saying that.
I didn't say illegal,
It's
Mr. Mayor.
saying-
I said he has the
and
right.
my question was, did anyone from Scientology, a representative from Scientology, ask you to write this letter?
I met with Scientology, but they didn't specifically ask me to write a letter. Because I talked to them before that I was, I voted both ways on this. And the last time I, said I was going to vote against it because I just felt like I needed to have advice from somebody. And since Uthmeyer, the Attorney General, did chime in on this, I thought I would get an opinion from him. So that's why I wrote it.
So they did ask you.
I didn't write it because they asked me.
And you wrote it completely on your own?
Yes, I did, Mayor. I don't know what you're, a lot of things have been swirling around this last week about why is the date on there put in. Well, I didn't have the date on there, and I asked put the date on before I sent it out on Monday. I wrote that myself. It didn't get written by anybody else, and it's none of your business. I'm asking the Attorney General for an opinion for me, not for you. I already know where you stand on it. So don't cross-examine me, examine me on this. I mean, this is for me.
Well, it's important to the citizens of Clearwater.
Yes, it is. Exactly. That's why I did it.
Whether or not you were lobbied to write this.
No, I wasn't lobbied to do it. And I've stated this before on the dais. Before May, when we were all talking about it, I said, I've got a real problem here understanding that, what the exact law is here. Do we own it? Do we own that? I've heard that we don't own it, that is a platted right-of-way. And why are we treating this different? I want to get an opinion on that.
Well, we have an opinion from our city attorney who wrote a memo.
I read his memo, 30 pages of memo.
We asked him to write, okay? So, I like the Attorney General. I support the Attorney General. I can tell you that he's not a trier of fact. If you look at the webpage, an Attorney General opinion does not have any control over us. It can't tell us what to do.
He may not respond.
And the reason why is because we all, in the practice of the law, we know there's something, you can't ex parte a judge. You can't go around the court system and lobby the judge for your position. You have to work within so that the judge is not working on he's working strictly on the facts. My experience here is, my conversations with them is that they're being lobbied hard by Scientology to give an opinion that they want. And again, I like the Attorney General, but I don't know how he can be unbiased with the lobbying that they have already done and how they've tried to frame the question. I've said all along that the way to decide this is to have a judge, impartial, no lobbying. We put the facts, the judge decides the facts and applies the law to the facts. And then we find out what it is.
And maybe perhaps we do that.
To me, this is, and did you tell anybody not to tell the rest of us or tell the city attorney?
No, I brought it in as a draft, and I said, look, I may be changing this over the weekend. This was on a Friday. I brought it in. I just said, look, I don't want to send this out until I know that this is what I want to say. That's as simple as that was. And then Sunday night, I sent it out, okay? That's why you got it Monday morning or whenever you read your email, because it goes out to everybody. It wasn't anybody in particular. I said, I just didn't need to get it released until I was ready to get it released. And I released it Sunday night.
Okay, Councilmember Menino or Vice
I'll let the Vice Mayor go first.
Thank you. I was actually going to request it to be put in 2 weeks on the agenda, solely because this has created a lot of noise, and with that causes confusion and misinterpretation of the facts. So I actually appreciate the opportunity to clarify, which I think you did, this was Councilmember Allbritton's initiative and action, and did so solely. So I personally had nothing to do with it, and I think that was important, so there's no misunderstandings. When I learned about it, I got to be honest, I was taken aback, because in my view, it's like knocking on the same door that we all agreed to shut. I thought this was resolved. We all most of us communicated with the office, and we moved on. So when I'm thinking, if you still want clarification, I thought there'd be better options than this route, such as getting a second opinion from the private sector, where you're actually hiring an attorney with the expertise and would have the interest of the city solely. And that's just one option. But I was taken aback because I just feel like we're beating I don't understand why, I don't understand the ultimate goal. If you want clarification, then it would be an unbiased attorney with the expertise behind it, rather than the same person that we all agreed that chapter has been closed. You know what I mean? I just think it's an ineffective method, and a method I don't think is going to have any positive outcomes.
Yeah, Councilmember Menino?
Mayor, thank you. I too, with respect to what has been said, found out Monday the same way everyone else did. I had no idea it was being thought of or was written until after the fact. I was not supportive of that direction. I kind of, in my opinion, as a dais, as a city and city leadership, we put a task and a duty on this city attorney, because we are not in this field of expertise, to give us the guidance on it, and you wrote a very thorough 30-page memorandum. We had opportunities at that point to agree with you or disagree with you. I think we all agreed with you and said that this is your profession, this is your job, your duty, and you give us as a city and as a dais legal advice and direction on how to proceed with all sort of topics, especially this one. In my mind, you did that. We got behind it and supported it with united as a dais. There was no questions. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have handled it that way. But with that said, I do respect the gentleman, and he has the right to. He has the ability to. Mr. Cotton did read the statute that stated that. I don't think sitting on the dais and continuing for us to pepper question and ask for and search for motives or why. It's done, it's written, it's mailed, it's emailed. We are waiting now with uncertainty on what that response may be. It would be a waste of time for us to talk about the multitude of directions this could go, because I think we would all sit here and admit this could go many, many different directions. For the good of the city, for the bad of the city, and everything in between. So I respect the gentleman's decision. He has that. He is an elected official. He has that right, and I will continue to do that. Doesn't mean that's how I would have pursued with it, and I do still stand by that. As a city, we asked for the advice and guidance. We were given it. At that point, like the vice mayor said, that door was closed. I feel that the ball was out of our court, and it's on to whatever anybody in the community at that point wanted to move forward. It was in their hands and not ours. But I do hope we don't continue to go back and forth and question the gentleman for motives and stuff. I think it's done. We understand his reasoning. He stated it. He had the right, and I think we should move on and find some way to celebrate the holiday spirit.
You're gonna leave me with that? Thanks, appreciate it. You know, I mean, we did all find out about it Monday. And you know, I think we just sit and wait. We have to see what's going on. But I will have to say that it's disappointing and it is distasteful with the way that you just handled that, Mr. Mayor. That is, like, to call him out the way you did is his
Go ahead.
lack of leadership.
Finish. Yeah. Okay, well, it's very disappointing that one of our colleagues would go around the four of us. You were just as surprised. I think we all know.
He has the right.
Well, okay, but to do that, quietly, not wanting us to know, not wanting the city attorney to know, that's not how we work together. That's very disappointing. That
We all know when we send something, we're
When I
going to know.
released it Sunday night, everybody was going to see it, because that's when I released it into public record. Before that, it was in draft form. It's not that I didn't want anybody to see it, I just hadn't really completed my thought process on it yet. So there's nothing nefarious about why I did it. It's done, okay? And maybe I'll get a response. It's not to all of us, it's to me. And maybe I'll get a response and maybe I won't. We'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Well, I'd like to see that clarification, because could you please advise whether the city owns the section of Garden Avenue in question, or if it is a platted right-of-way that the applicant can petition to vacate without paying fair market value? I don't know that it's within the Attorney General's purview to settle property disputes between two property owners. And you're really asking for an opinion on a private civil dispute between two property owners, who owns the property. I don't think, and I even looked on the website today, reviewing the rules for asking for an Attorney General opinion, I don't think that falls within what they normally issue opinions on. But I would like to direct the city attorney to at least clarify with the Attorney General what you just said, or work with him to help clarify that you're not asking for an opinion, an Attorney General opinion for the city. You're asking for an opinion for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, which you could have asked any attorney, you could have engaged your own attorney to get it if you didn't like the opinion that we're getting, or trust the opinion from our city attorney. But I would like to have us clarify with the Attorney General that the city's not asking for an Attorney General opinion.
Doesn't say the city, it says me.
You're asking for an opinion privately for yourself,
Yes.
not for an Attorney General opinion.
He is an officer of this municipality. He can do that as a council member, just as the vice mayor could, just as you can. So there's no clarification that needs to. It can go on city letterhead. Anybody in this audience cannot petition an attorney general. That is why we have special petitions. That is why our city attorney can. That is why our city manager can. Because of that statute that I read out to you, that allows us to do that. Not in secrecy, through letterhead. That is why it says his name on it. I mean, what are you doing here? We're trying to just like get into the very nitty gritty here. It literally says his name on it. All of ours is omitted. He is an officer of the city of Clearwater. There's nothing else wrong there. This is crazy what you're trying to do here. You should be ashamed.
He just said he wasn't asking for an opinion for the city, he's asking for an opinion for
But
himself.
I'm trying to get to you to understand. That's what he's saying. It's not the city, it's him. He is an official
Well, I would like to
officer
make that,
of the city.
I would like to make that clear for the Attorney General, that it's his request, not our request.
I'm pretty sure everybody understands that, but apparently you. So, everybody understands that this is Councilmember Allbritton. All of our names have been removed. I've seen it to where it says your name on the very top below the insignia, followed by your name on the top, followed by all of ours underneath. It's not there. Literally says Councilmember David Allbritton, his seat number, City of Clearwater. Nothing about you, nothing about me. We all found out about it Monday from his official letterhead. So what are you, speak plainly, what are you trying to get at here? This is ridiculous.
Well, this is ridiculous.
But the way you're handling it is absolutely ridiculous for a mayor.
We do this one-off, we try to hide it from one another, and that's been the perception.
He didn't hide it, he sent it to us. We all found out on
No,
Monday.
you didn't talk about it with the city attorney, right? And did you
No, I
not-
didn't, because I didn't need to talk about it with the city attorney. I felt like I needed to ask the question myself. I already have the opinion from the city attorney, a 30-page opinion. And I have other opinions from other attorneys, but I'm not bringing them into this because Uthmeyer is in it because he sent a letter to us about this. So that's why I'm asking for his opinion.
And he was lobbied by the property owner
I
to
don't
do
know.
that. Yeah.
I don't know
Bold
why.
accusation.
I don't know why he did that. I didn't say, it just said petitioner. So, may not get a response, I may get a response. If I get a response, I will let everybody know what the response is. But it's my response. And I know you don't care about that because I know your position and Lena's position on it. It's for me. This is strictly for me. Okay? So let's just leave it at that. There's nothing more to be said on it.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, we'll move to agenda item 11, closing comments by council members. Councilmember Cotton.